My fiancée's mother poured boiling soup on me during a birthday dinner. Now she's twitching uncontrollably from a stress-induced relapse of her neuromuscular disease. No one moved when it happened, not even Lynn. They said it was an accident, but her eyes cold and still told a different story. That was the moment I knew I was at war, and silence would be my weapon. When I first met Lynn's parents, they handed me a silk scarf embroidered with dragons, a symbol of power in Chinese culture. They smiled, but Denise muttered under her breath in Mandarin, "He won't last a year." I pretended not to understand. From that moment, I committed to learning the language. Silence, I decided, was the sharpest blade I had. The scarf stayed hidden, a reminder of the battle I never asked for. 3 months later, Denise invited me to tea. She spoke kindly, offering sweet cakes while slipping in phrases like "Mangfa useless husband to Wei." I acted clueless, sipping quietly, while Lynn laughed at something on her phone. I knew then their insults weren't slips, they were weapons. That night, I signed up for a Mandarin course. Every phrase they used against me would become fuel. I wouldn't confront them, I'd dismantle them from the inside. At a family BBQ, Denise accidentally knocked over a tray of ribs onto my lap. The sauce burned through my pants. She apologized with a grin and called it clumsiness in Mandarin. I smiled, wiped the mess, and thanked her calmly. We offered no apology, just a beer. I noted every word, every smirk. Lynn said I was overreacting. Again, that night, I practiced vocabulary for deliberate sabotage. I wouldn't flinch. I was preparing. Denise mistakenly deleted my presentation from Lynn's laptop 2 hours before a major pitch. Lynn blamed herself, but Denise's smile lingered too long. I said nothing, retrieved the file from a backup, and crushed the meeting. Later, I heard her whisper "Bake idiot" while slicing fruit. I repeated it back to her perfect pronunciation. She froze. Just a second, that was the first crack. I was no longer the clueless foreigner they expected. Wei gifted me a jade pendant at Lunar New Year, saying it was for luck. That night, I overheard him in the hallway say, "It's cursed. Watch him fall apart." I wore it daily. Not for luck, for witness. Every time they smiled, I responded with sharper silence. Lynn stayed distant, distracted. I noted it all. The pendant, the glances, the warnings disguised as blessings, it all became part of my quiet strategy. They started using Lynn as a mouthpiece. Denise would say, "Tell him he's too soft," or remind him to fix his accent. I pretended not to notice. Even when Lynn repeated the words like her own, I recorded everything quietly. In arguments, she used phrases only Denise had said. Their fingerprints were all over her speech. I began building a timeline, not to fight yet, but one day, I'd present it like a case file. On our engagement night, Denise gave a toast in Mandarin, saying, "Even dogs can wear suits." Everyone laughed. I smiled, raised my glass, and responded flawlessly. "And even snakes wear silk." A beat of silence, then scattered nervous chuckles. Lynn pulled me aside, furious. "Why did you say that?" I shrugged. "Just something I heard at class." Her eyes narrowed. At night, Denise stopped calling me names out loud, but the game had shifted. I couldn't finish the whole story in the short. The full story is on my channel and link below.